They say that you shouldn't long for something that you can't have. And, intellectually, that's kind of obvious. If it's something that you'll never get, then you shouldn't bother, you shouldn't waste so much of your mental energy on it because you're just gonna be unhappy all the time about not being able to have it, or maybe thinking that you can have it but being disappointed when it just doesn't happen. And I guess I've had my fair share of that, and I still have a lot of that. But I feel like I've gotten better with that. I mean, my mom, for one, she's dead. I'm not gonna get her back ever. I still wish that she hadn't died, but I know you can't undo death. So, I don't know. I guess I'm okay right now with regards to her. But it gets complicated when the people you want back are still alive out there. And see, it's like the two of you were together before, and there's a part of you that doesn't understand why, like, you were together once, why can't you be together again? You think about what it was that split the both of you apart, and it's a series of decisions on the part of both parties, and it's so frustrating because you had control over it. Like, you actually could influence what happened, and you made the wrong I made the wrong decision, a lot of the wrong decisions, and I ended up losing my friend. As far as I know, he doesn't want to have anything to do with me anymore. And that really stings. Everyone else I know has, told me how it is, just you want him, but he doesn't want you, so just don't bother, you know? I should be comfortable with what I have and not what I want. I still have people who are supportive, people who are very kind and accepting of me despite all of my issues. And I don't know, maybe, I guess, the transitory period of uh, between, what happened and what the new normal's gonna be is that's always the worst part. And it just feels like it's gonna be like this forever. But it's not gonna be like this forever. You know, the future is never is never certain. A lot of the times when the future is certain because you feel like it's certain. Placebo is really powerful. A lot of bad outcomes are actually self-fulfilling prophecies because part of you just feels very strongly that it has to be that a certain way, and that makes you subconsciously uh, act in a manner that caught it makes you act in a way that makes it so that that outcome ends up happening. The one thing you really don't want, but is what you think is going to happen. I want you to know that I think it's going to be okay. Whoever you are who's going through something similar, you know, I don't want to give false hope and say like, you might get back, you might really get back the thing that you want, but you know, nothing is definite unless like people decide to make it a definite thing. I hate I really don't like things that are final, They're kind of unchangeable and they're just they're just stuck and it sucks. That's why I hate death. Part of why I hate death anyway is that you can't really do anything about it once it's been done. But, finalities are extremely rare outside of that, I think. People change all the time. Every day, every second, you have a slightly different state of mind. Maybe the core of you is still very similar to what it used to be, but, you know, your attitudes and your behaviors can, they can be adjusted over time. It's funny, I cannot recognize myself from years ago. A lot of attitudes that I used to feel zealous about. I don't really have those attitudes anymore. Or like, it's not that I don't have the attitudes anymore, it's that it's so faded in the part of my mind that it's basically just like an opinion. It's just a preference. It's not any, there's no passion to it. There's no real defining characteristic to it. It's just a thing that's there. I'm sorry for dragging this on. I don't really know what I'm doing. Um, there's always there's always other things to look forward to. You know, could be making progress on whatever personal project you have. There could be you could have other people who still love you for who you are, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities to get closer, to know more about them. Obviously, bad things can and will happen in the future, but everything's temporary. Good things, bad things. I think, I think the best thing maybe is to just keep your mind open to all possibilities. The possibility that you will get what you want, the possibility that you won't get what you want, and, you know, those possibilities aren't final. Things can always things can always change. Thank you for listening. I just wanted to get that off my chest, and I don't know. I hope whoever you are that maybe helped you a little too. See ya.